Okay, good morning. Don't mind my messy living room. I don't have a space to train right now or shoot videos if it's cold outside. So we're shooting in here, we're working with what we got. Today we're going to go over marker words. We're going to go over loading our marker word or our clicker. And we're going to go over the look at that game. Just some basics. Some basic dog training, kind of the stuff that you work on before you even start training. I train most of my dogs because they're all very food driven. I use treats. Not a lot of my dogs are super toy driven, so I don't use toys a lot. That is an option if you have a toy driven dog. My dogs are just more treat driven, and I like training with treats just a little bit more. This is my personal preference. I think it's easier. So when we are training dogs, they need to have a clear and decisive yes. They need to have a clear and decisive yes, that's what we want. That is the behavior. We're gonna mark it. So that's why we call it a marker word. You can use whatever word that you want. I use yes. I think it's very easy to yell. I think it's a very easy, precise word to mark. You can use good. You can use literally any word that you want. I use yes. Another option for this is your clicker. The nice thing about a clicker is that a clicker is never angry, a clicker is never tired, a clicker is never annoyed, a clicker is consistent. The problem with a clicker is that you always have to have a clicker in your hand, and it does take a little finesse to work a clicker, a treat, a leash, everything at once. So I use a mix of both in my training. My dogs do know what a clicker means, and they know what their yes word means. Yeah, I have a hand of treats, and you see he's very excited about it. So, when we choose our word, first we have to load our word. Our dogs need a positive. Sorry. Yeah. Our dogs need to recognize that that is a good word. That's what you want. So that word needs to mean good things. So how we're gonna load our marker word or our clicker, either or, is you're gonna have your dog in front of you. You're gonna get their attention. You can either say their name, so like Gus, and when he looks at you, so Gus, yes, yes, yes. Oh, he gets it. Gus, yes. Gus, yes. He's normally better about catching treats. Gus, yes, yes. That's building that good relationship with that word. So when they know and they hear that word, they're going to get a treat. They're going to be rewarded for that. They know that that is the behavior that. So when they hear that word, they associate good things with that word. Same with a clicker. If you're going to have a clicker, you would just click and then treat. Click, treat. Click, treat. Click, treat. And that's how we're going to load our marker word, or our clicker. Gus, Gus, heel. Set. So, with treats, you are going to go through a lot of them when you first start training, because you're going to need to mark and treat so they have a good association with that behavior. So when you mark and treat and they realize that, yes, when I do that behavior, that is a good thing, that is what my person needs, they're going to start getting those good endorphins when they do that behavior. After a while, once they start to learn that this is a good behavior, they have a learned behavior, you can start to phase out the treats and you can start using just your yes word. I like to associate it with the fact that you are not going to want to do something unless you get paid. Your dog's not going to want to do something unless they get paid for it too. They're not just going to do something for the fact of doing something. Dogs need to have a reward system, and either needs to be a positive or a negative experience for them to learn. They're not going to just do something to do something. That's not how they work. Hi, baby. Additionally, these things are things that need to be done in multiple different spots. So if we work on this at home and they're really, really good at this at home, but we only work at it at home and you take them out somewhere and they don't do it there, well, dogs are situational learners. Sitting and laying down and being calm at home is a completely different situation than taking them out in public and being sitting and being calm in public. So we need to slowly take those behaviors and slowly work them into everyday life and the situations that you want your dogs to be in, and you want your dogs to be neutral in them, dogs to be neutral with. So socialization with your dogs is very important. Sit. The problem with the word socialization is that we don't necessarily want our dogs to be social. That can cause reactivity. And reactivity is not necessarily a bad thing. They can get excitement reactivity. Gus can get a little excited about certain things. And it's not, I wouldn't say it's necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good thing. We want our dogs to be neutral in situations. We want our dogs to go out and we don't want them to react. We want them to just chill, to be chill and be calm. So one of the things that we work on for that is that we're going to work on the look at it game. It's a LAT game. So look at it game. After we have a good marker word and they have a good understanding of that, one of the ways that we can combat the reactivity and we can teach neutrality is we have our dog, and when they look at something and they stay calm, we're going to reward that. Gus, Gus, heel. So if he's going to look over at something, I would say yes. And then he would look back and treat when I say yes. And if he's going to look at something over here, the problem with my dog, yes. And see how he's looking over somewhere. I'm going to mark that, yes. And he's going to look back at me. I'm going to treat. But I only want to treat, and I only want to mark yes and treat when he's calm. You want to be fast. You want to get that when he's calm. Before they can get that reactivity. This game also works with reactive dogs that are already reactive. You can teach them to be calm by working this. You can start slowly introducing them by like sitting on your porch and just kind of people watching or anything, and having them, if they look at something, you just mark yes, have them look back at you and treat. So they can start learning to be calm. They also learn when they see something and they see something that's super exciting to redirect their attention back at you. And so instead of looking at the distracting thing, they're going to look at you because you are going to be the more exciting thing. You need to be the more exciting thing to your dog. It's another reason why we reward and treat. There's a concept, it's called being sexier than the squirrel in dog training. And this is part of that. So look at a game. Again, it's pretty easy. He's going to look at something over here. Yes. He's going to treat. But you're going to treat when I'm looking at me, when he looks back at you. So he's going to look at something over here. Yes. And he's going to look back at me. If you need to, you can bring your treat in front of your dog's nose. Yes. So he's going to look at something over here. Yes. Yes. Treat. Good boy. Good boy. These are really the foundations of getting a calm and neutral dog. So you're going to want to work on the building your marker word. And everybody in your house needs to use the same verbiage. You need to come to a conclusion of a marker word. You need to be consistent with your marker word, and you need to be fast with your marker word. You need to try not to get annoyed with your marker word. So even when your dog does something like upsetting or something like that, if that is a good behavior that you want them to mark, you say yes. So I like to use the example of when your dog runs away, it's annoying. However, you can't get upset because if you start yelling and getting mad, they're not going to want to come to you if you're upset. They're not going to want to come to you if you're mad. Nobody's going to want to come to you if they know that if you're yelling at them in a harsh tone. You want to be happy, you want to be excited. And when they come to you, that is the behavior you want. you're gonna mark and reward that, even though they have been running around being psychotic the whole time. They did come to you. So that is a mark and reward time. That is a yes, good dog, treat, love, cookie. Because they did end up coming, and eventually they're going to start associating that behavior with a good thing. They call my name. That is a good thing. I get a cookie. I get to get pets and everything. That's really all I got for you for right now. If you have any questions, ask.